double E degree, CE degree, ME, business degree, whatever it is, think about getting a minor in wind energy. So the majority of the undergraduate students right now are doing that. On the graduate certificate, we have, this is the technical track program. The guys that are probably engineers or atmospheric scientists, somebody that's had a lot of calculus and a lot of physics already, should go think about our technical track. So if you've already got a degree and you're working in the wind energy industry in Austin or some industry you're thinking of getting out of, you can get a graduate certificate in wind energy by distance without ever having to set foot in Lubbock, Texas. So that's a good deal. A lot of people out here have already signed up for that or filled out cards expressing an interest in that. So we probably have, gosh, maybe as many as 60 people, you know, already signed up for that program, taking classes. The majority of them are actually now taking classes by distance. So that's what we have there for the technical types. But we don't want to ignore the non-technical ones, the ones that don't have that calculus or physics background. So in this program, we're going to emphasize the business side of things, the environmental side of things, permitting, all of those type of things. And so you can, again, you can take these all by distance without having to come to Lubbock. So interesting, when we first put out our announcement about the Intro to Wind Energy, which was kind of, you know, it was a 1200 course. The one indicates it's like a first-year course for freshmen and stuff. I had all these law school students. Like, hey man, can I take your course? Is that going to give me credit for law school? I don't know. Go ask the law school people, you know. So, of course it didn't, you know. I mean, a freshman level course is not going to necessarily qualify for law school. But the law school quickly determined that among their students there was a lot of interest. So they came up with their own course, Wind Energy Law Seminar 6331. We wanted to be part of our program, but it was already completely full. This, actually, I guess it's this semester. I think this semester they're offering it. It's already full. We couldn't get any of our graduate students in it. So it's big business for the lawyers too. So these are the kind of classes we're looking at for the, if you get a Master of Science in Wind Science and Engineering or a Master of Engineering if this is in wind energy. Most of these we already offer as part of our graduate certificate program. PhD, it's a multidisciplinary program. So we span several engineering disciplines, civil, electrical, industrial, mechanical, but we work closely with geosciences, atmospheric sciences, the business school, architecture even, you know, they're concerned about what turbines look like. So mathematics, so it's a multidisciplinary program. We're sort of housed in the civil engineering building, but we're not a subset of civil engineering. They're part of us. We're multidisciplinary. So, of course, when you're multidisciplinary, that creates a lot of problems too. You have to figure out how to get something reviewed, so it's not the standard, well, I'll go up through the department and then to the College of Engineering and then to the Academic Council. We had to go out all over the place, you know, we kind of shotgunned it. Well, you know, College of Architecture, you want to have some input on our program, College of Business. So it takes a little longer to figure out how to get courses approved and stuff. That's the way it's working so far. We've got a big endowment to the university to look at solar energy. We have a lot of interest in biomass. You know, I think, you know, in a few years, we could have a college of renewable energy. I don't know. So that's just the kind of interest level we're seeing, not just in wind, but in renewable energy in general. So there's the 1200 class. We take them out and go on field trips with turbines and things like that. It wasn't all freshmen. It turned out we had as many seniors in this as we did freshmen. In fact, we had two graduate students went on and took it, even though their hours necessarily wouldn't apply to a graduate degree. But there's, you know, this 1200 filled up right away when we first offered it. We were videotaping it, so our class would only hold 36 people. So we had a limit there, and it filled up. So now we've got a bigger class, and it's almost full. So I think we're going to be adding, you know, 50, 60 people maybe every year to the program. So now we're talking about class I teach now, social impacts of wind energy. What are the impacts? There is no free lunch, I guess, with any energy source that we use. Whether solar's pretty close, but you even have people snipe at things like, what are the chemicals used in the development of photovoltaic cells, whatever it is. Some people don't even want you to put solar panels on your roof, subdivisions or whatever it is. But wind energy, we have our issues. There's the lesser prairie chicken. That's a big deal up in the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma, and Kansas. So we have to be very careful with these site projects. You got bats, particularly out on the East Coast. They have some projects that having some bat issues there. How do we do with ranching? How do we do with farmers? Things like that. Just the transportation. Who passed a truckload of wind turbine blades or towers on the way here? I know I did. Not this time, but sometime I met one in downtown Leno, Texas, and it was turning. So I backed up about 100 yards just to let the truck turn. Those are the kind of issues you have to deal with moving this huge equipment. And then, the aesthetics of it. The top picture up there in the middle is actually a project in Hawaii that somebody kind of walked off and left for many years. So you still even see some of that out in California. So today, all turbine developers or project developers, at least that I know of, they have provisions in their leases that they're going to take those things out when they're no longer functional. So there's our videographer there. He does the videotaping, editing, and makes it available for distance education. And then he plays a mean song too. He re-recorded the Renewable Blues. So if you've been around TRIA for many, many years, you might recall myself and my colleagues at the annual TRIA conference singing the Renewable Blues. Long time ago. But Staten has re-recorded that now. And so he's actually has some other songs that he's written for it. Okay, just to wrap up, wind energy is a rapidly growing source of electricity, probably the most rapidly growing in the country. Achieving 20% of our electricity from wind energy, it's going to add close to 200,000 jobs. I personally think that's even a low estimate. I think it's going to add a lot more than that. We believe 20 to 30,000 of these could be professional type jobs that would benefit from training in wind energy. That's our target market at Tech. We think around the United States there could be 1,000 of those a year coming into these programs. So the Texas Wind Energy Institute, our partnership between Texas Tech and the Texas State Technical College, we're working very rapidly to grow our programs to accommodate this. So we already offer now undergraduate and graduate courses, both on campus and by distance. And then we have our research center there. We're ready to work with turbine manufacturers, whoever it is, equipment manufacturers, tower manufacturers, on new designs. So we're there. There's our websites there. So the Texas Wind Energy Institute has its own, and then on the Texas Tech website for the Wind Science and Engineering Research Center is the bottom.
You have 9 minutes for questions.
We're done.
Can you go back one?
Sorry about that. Questions? Come to the microphone, please. You first.
Okay, yes. I do environmental consulting for the wind industry, and I was wondering if you have any students looking at road design to reduce erosion and harvest runoff for groundwater recharge with just slight alterations in the current design of wind farm roads.
Well, I actually covered roads this week in my social impacts of wind energy class. So we talk about erosion and all the things you can do to minimize that, the issues with farmers and weeds and all those type of things. So that specific one, we'd love to talk to you about if you have ideas. We've had guest lecturers come in about Playa Lakes, for instance, the potential effect of wind energy on Playa Lakes. We have people come in to talk about the prairie chickens. So any particular issue, such as you've raised, we're open to guest lecturers. So bring me a card.
Got two questions, please. Many of us own private land in the high wind areas in West Texas. What do we need to do to begin to get commercial wind companies to put up mills on our property?
Well, I'd say the first thing is we got to get those transmission lines built. I mean,